what are some long-term trends that you think most people are ignoring or denying even exist right now, but you think are going to come to be true?
Wow. Again, how much time do you have? There's a lot of. I'll try to go with some of the bigger ones, and I'll kind of go by asset class. At least the ones we're invested in. I think the scary thing about multifamily, which is probably the strongest out of all the asset classes right now, is really we're just seeing a tremendous amount of capital really flowing out of every other asset class and sort of being siphoned off into multifamily. There's good reasons for that in the sense that the disruptions technologically coming down, which you've heard me, talk about probably ad nauseum at this point, they're actually starting to materialize. We were talking earlier about Tesla, which is a wonderful company. I love my Tesla. I remember good friends of mine laughing at me 7 years ago when I bought it, thinking, "Oh, it's just an electric car. I've driven them. They're terrible. They have a 50-mile range and yada yada." And here we go 7 years later, and they're bigger than every other car company in the world put together. That couldn't and wouldn't happen 20 or 30 or 40 years ago. It certainly wasn't happening, when I started out in the late 90s. And so I think the rate of disruption and the rate of change is just getting faster and faster. And so the effect of that, bringing it back to real estate, is commercial multifamily is getting probably overvalued just because there's a lot of fear in every other asset class. Industrials is probably becoming overvalued. Same reason. The rush to internet marketing and sales and COVID, I think, accelerated that as well. And then the other asset classes, which are office, hotel, and retail, are going through massive disruption. The office disruption is probably, in my opinion, is the greatest, even though people talk about retail. Retail is a very close second, and then hotels, which hopefully is temporary. I don't know. But though the trends that we're seeing are not going to stop, they're going to accelerate, in my humble opinion. And the rate of disruption across all industries, which will indirectly affect real estate, is going to be significant. So getting ahead of those trends is what we've tried to do and what we continue to try to do with a lot of our.
Makes sense. This content was created by commercialrealestate.com. Access our community, investment databases, training, and live events by visiting www.commercialrealestate.com.